So we will start slowly but surely as people continue to join us. So I am Kelly Hilliard-Rausch, Executive and Artistic Director of the Classic Theater of San Antonio. And I want to thank you for tuning in tonight to join us as we share information about Season 13, our season of theater in the rough. So first of all, welcome. This year's theme is going to be, and is, we are the choices we make. We chose this theme at the start of 2020. And since that time, a lot has happened. And now it is even more relevant as the year continues to unfold. So we have continued with the theme we were hoping and planning for when we started in 2020. I'm also going to share right now the evening schedule so you'll know what to expect, a little bit of what to expect. I'll be sharing some information about merchandise and tickets for purchase. Then we will be having our cocktail tutorials. There are some classic artists and patrons who are going to be sharing how to make each signature cocktail for you. Plays, we'll talk about the plays we're planning and hoping on doing and hear from each of those shows' directors. And we'll also reveal the venues that we will be performing at. Finally, at the end of the hour, we will ask people to sign on and join with us then, sign on with their video to do a toast for Season 13. So again, thank you for coming. And sit back and relax as we go into our evening of our hoped for upcoming shows. The first thing I would like to share with you is our Season 13 merchandise. So this year, with your registration, everyone will be receiving a cocktail jigger that has the Classic logo on it and a Classic Theater face mask. Everything you need for 2020, I think, at this point in time. If you are interested in buying more cocktail jiggers, which you can use tonight, or face masks, they will be on our website and they will be $10 each. But welcome to Season 13, and we're excited to be having our treats for you that will be dropped off in the next couple weeks. Now let me tell you a little bit about our tickets to be purchased. This season we have a Flex Pass option. It's a little different than last year and previous years. So there will be no season subscription option for Season 13 in the traditional sense. Instead, we're only going to offer a Flex Pass. This Flex Pass allows greater flexibility as we may have to shift plans as the season progresses. All of us know what 2020 has been like so far. So we are preparing for that. This pass represents 3 tickets to be used in any manner for Season 13 productions. 1 ticket to be used for all 3 productions, or you can use the 3 tickets, 1 for each of the productions, or some other combination of your choosing. It is our desire to produce all 3 shows that we are sharing with you this evening, but some may have to be postponed and canceled. We certainly have Plan B and C and D if for whatever reason that happens. And if you cannot use the 3 passes ultimately, this year's Flex Pass will convert to a donation to the theater. So it will be an investment that you're making in the theater. It'll be $100, which is a little more than a 15% discount from individual tickets. And those will go on sale tomorrow morning. At this time, I would like to welcome a special guest and a familiar face for most everyone, our box office manager, Flo Bunton. Welcome, Flo. You're muted, Flo.
Is that better? So I'm Flo. I'm still here. I'm working at home or sheltering in place, just like you. And you can make reservations online, or you can call me at 210-589-8450. That's 210-589-8450. That was quick. Classic Theater, this is Florence. How can I help you?
Florence is hard at work for us. So now it is I'm thrilled to announce Walter Gull, who is the president and general manager of Burwelco, USA. He is with us this evening. He is a patron of the Classic Theater and a lover of the arts. Walter and Burwelco have been the lead sponsor of our annual fundraising dinner for the last 3 years. And at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce him to say a few words of introduction.
Good evening, everybody. This is a bit unorthodox, this approach, but in these days, these times, this is a good way for us to be able to communicate. Kelly had asked me to just spend a brief minute and share some of my thoughts about theater. And, you know, theater done right, without question, does so much. It goes well beyond just typical entertainment. Not only does it touch people's lives, it actually teaches people many, many important lessons that throughout life, otherwise they may have not been exposed to. Personally, as a young kid in high school, I had the opportunity to actually participate in plays and musicals. Now, while it clearly was not my future career, it did give me the skills that allowed me to go out into the business world and really not be afraid to share my thoughts, to communicate effectively with folks. And that's really what theater does. It communicates. It goes well beyond entertainment. And I think every day we see countless examples of where theater in its raw form has really truly shaped people's lives and shaped the community. I can remember one of the earliest seasons, one of the performances that I had went to. It was really the first time that Classic Theater for me to be able to watch a presentation, and without question, the types of material that's chosen, the performances themselves, every single performance I've gone to with Classic Theater, I've walked away thinking and rethinking about what previous walls, what previous boundaries that I had created for myself. The plays chosen, the performances themselves really go well beyond making you think and definitely see a much, much bigger world. So those are a few words that as far as my own personal thoughts, but I also wanted to share with you that it's my great pleasure to be able to announce to you that Burwelco USA will again be the platinum sponsor for this coming spring. And I also wanted to mention that there are a number of other gold sponsors that have committed as well at this point. So excellent work that they've been doing, and they're going to keep progressing and even in these difficult times, and continue to do something special.
Thank you so much, Walter. We are thrilled to have you back as our lead sponsor and additional gold sponsors joining on. So now, hopefully we are all here and settled and near our cocktail things. So now we're gonna go to that place I think a lot of us have spent some time over the last 5 months, is making a cocktail for us. So I would like to share with you our cocktail tutorial videos. We know everyone has a different preference for their beverage or cocktail of choice. So this season, since it was a season of choice, with your registration, you were sent recipes for 3 signature cocktails for you to choose from. Hopefully you've gathered your preferred ingredients, and now we have a few of our classic family sharing how to make each of these cocktails. So during the hour after you've made your cocktail, Sip away and enjoy, but save enough for the toast at the end.
Hello, I'm Mark Foster Mccarver. You will have seen me on and off stage at the Classic Theater of San Antonio.
And I'm his husband, Riley Foster Mccarver.
Which is a job in itself. Now, Riley, what are we doing behind our bar with these seemingly random items?
We are making the Wicked Behaviors cocktail.
Wow, okay. What can we do to make it?
Well, in the shaker, we've got bourbon,
Oh, yes.
lemon juice,
Of course.
a pinch of salt,
Lovely.
and our homemade beet syrup.
Absolutely. And for those of you at home, if you do not have beet syrup, you can use anything that's the same color and viscosity as beet syrup, and it will work just as well.
Or you can just follow the simple recipe included in the cocktail recipe.
Or you can do that. That's fine.
We're gonna shake up our cocktail.
Okay.
We're gonna pour it over ice in a rocks
Naturally.
glass.
It's a giant ice cube. Oh, that's a pretty color. It does look quite wicked.
All right.
Indeed.
We'll top with ginger beer,
Excellent.
a pinch of nutmeg,
Freshly grated.
of course,
Yes.
and garnish with a sprig of tarragon.
Or whatever you find in your garden or yard. How is it?
Guess I'll have to make it to find out.
Cliffhanger. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for attending the Classic Theater's virtual cocktail hour and announcement of our 13th season. So tonight we're going to build for you Mr. Morgan's root beer float, for those who are not particularly interested in cocktails at this time of night. Now, Mr. Morgan recommends using A&W root beer, which I have. However, since we're talking about our town, I thought we ought to take that seriously and think about our town, even though Thornton Wilder was dealing with Grover's Corners, and recognize that in San Antonio we have HEB, old-fashioned root beer, made with actual cane syrup, which is wonderful. And so normally I would pick that one. It's so good. Now, here's what we're going to do tonight. The recipe is very simple. You take some ice cream, put it into a lovely container. This container is kind of a reference back to former times. It's a beautiful antique piece. But as you can see, this is meant for more than one person. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to share this float between two people in this household that have been together for almost 50 years. So we're going to start by putting ice cream into the container. And so we got two nice, lovely big scoops of ice cream, which are going in here. There's one. And here's the other one. That first one was for Terry, this one is for me. It's a little bigger, you can tell. All right, now, then we take the root beer and gently pour that down the side so you reduce the amount of foam. Now, as you all know, root beer foams like crazy, which is, I think, widely connected to beer because it all foams. So you can reduce it a little bit by doing it this way. The only other two ingredients. One is whipped cream. Now, you can do it the easy way and go to HEB or any place you know and get the squirt kind, which can make pretty designs and nice and tall things. But I prefer actually to whip my own and have actually homemade whipped cream. Our last ingredient will be cherries. Now here's another blast from the past, as it were. Those of you who may have never seen one of these. It's actually supposed to be for pickles, I believe, but it works beautifully putting cherries on top of these lovely root beer floats. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Morgan's root beer float. Thanks for coming. Don't forget, this drink was meant to be shared by two, especially who love each other. So 2 straws, 2 spoons. Have a great evening.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our home. We are so excited to be with you at this special classic theater event. Welcome to our kitchen. I'm Eva Laporte.
And I'm Zach Lewis.
And we're so excited to be here with you. So we are going to be making a Greek cocktail that we've named A Point of No Return. So the classic drink of Greece, of course, is ouzo, as most of you know. Do you like ouzo?
I've never had it.
Oh, I like it so much, but that is because I love black licorice. So ouzo is an aromatic made from anise, which gives it that black licorice flavor. Some people love that, others don't care for it. So tonight we're actually going to use gin, and you can too. You can use gin, you can use vodka, whatever you have on hand in your quarantine cocktail closet. So we're going to use 3 ounces of your gin or ouzo over ice in a shaker. Then we are going to take 1.5 ounces of lemon juice. I've made some fresh from my lemons here. Put that in, give it a nice shake, and if you'd like, you can use some simple syrup or honey syrup to taste. Most people make this at home, or you can buy it pre-made like we have here. Zach, I know you like it sweet.
I do.
Yes, very good. And that's it. Just shake it up. Give it a little shimmy shake. Very nice.
Did I ever tell you about my Greek friend Icarus?
Your Greek friend Icarus. No.
Yeah, he was not a good wingman.
I love you so much. You came for the cocktails, and you get to stay for the jokes, so that's pretty great. We're going to top this lovely drink off with some club soda. We're using tonic. Again, I really love the flavor of the tonic. And then we're going to just give it a simple garnish with some lemon slices. And I have got some fresh mint as well, which I think is so refreshing.
Fail.
There we go.
All right.
And there's only one thing left to say.
What's that?
Yamas!
Yamas.
Cheers, everyone.
That is refreshing.
That's really good.
See you soon.
We will see you soon.
Yamas. I have my Greek cocktail, but I am going to wait until the end to sip on it. But I hope you all have your cocktails now. I wish I had Eva's little sprig with me. She does cocktails right, her and Zach. So thank you, tutorial folks. And now I am excited to share with you our plans for season 13. We are the choices we make. So the shows that we have planned this year for you, I will share a little bit about them, and then you will also hear from each director afterwards. Now, we had planned on doing 5 shows this coming year, but due to COVID, and thus the need to stay adaptable and creative, this season we are hoping and planning on doing 3 shows instead of the 5 we had originally planned on doing. So the first show of the season this year is Macbeth by William Shakespeare, running October 2nd through the 25th, hopefully. We know that with COVID, all things are not at our control, so we do have alternative performance dates set up in March as well. This show is directed by Joe Gazinski. Shakespeare's famous tragedy tells the story of a loyal soldier whose overriding ambition causes him to abandon his values, asking the question, what happens when ambition subverts reason in an honorable man? Our second show for the season will be Our Town, directed by Mark Stringham, February 5th through the 28th. This is the show we had hoped to do this past March, but we were unable to, and so we are hoping and planning to do it in February. This heartfelt classic drama by American playwright Thornton Wilder tells the story of the fictional American small town of Grover's Corner through the everyday lives of its citizens. This show allows us to go along with the characters and find out how they find meaning and contentment with their choices as their dreams, relationships, and futures unfold. And finally, the third show of the season will be Antigone by Sophocles, April 8th through May 2nd of 2021. And I will have the privilege of getting to direct this show. This play begins with two brothers fighting for the kingship of Thebes. Both men die in battle. Their successor, their uncle Creon, decides that one brother will be buried, but the other brother will be left on the field of battle to rot. Their sister, Antigone, finds herself having to choose between what she believes is to be right, burying her brother, or following the laws of man and facing death herself. What happens when we're forced to choose between doing what we feel is right and what the world is telling us is right? What forces us to take a stand? What are we willing to die for? You will now hear from the directors, starting with Joe Gazinski, our director for Macbeth.
We are the choices we make. Hi, I'm Joe Gazinski, and I'm directing this season's production of Macbeth by William Shakespeare. We are the choices we make, and I would say that might be one of the biggest themes of 2020. Going through a global pandemic and making the right choices can be all the difference of living or dying this year, unfortunately. This play deals with a lot of superstitions, and even to this day, people are really uncomfortable with saying the title. As you often hear people say, the Scottish play had a fear of something going wrong. But I think in the year 2020, I almost asked myself, what else can go wrong? So I almost want to just say the word over and over and over again, Macbeth, 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 and just kind of go through it and just get all the jinxes and all the bad superstitions out. But at any rate, we go forward with this production and with the hope of being able to go out and do this as theater in the rough. I'm really excited about this play. We've talked about this play in the past, of the opportunity and the possibility of producing it. And this year we have two wonderful actors playing our leads. We have John Stillwagon playing Macbeth and his wife, Carolyn Dellinger, playing his wife on stage, Lady Macbeth. I'm so thrilled to work with them both again. And we've been exploring and working through some of the themes, which one of the themes I think of this play is blind ambition leads to destruction. This play talks about good versus evil. It talks about guilt versus loyalty. Many, many themes that go on within any year, but in a political year and a year in which we're electing a new president, I think is really, really prevalent. So we're exploring this, and we've started to do what most people do at their jobs and having Zoom rehearsals. And so we've been quarantined and working on all of this and putting it together. And now I'm coming to San Antonio and I'm going to work live. But I can't work live with a lot of actors due to the situation of the pandemic. So we're working with small groups of actors. And then we'll put together more actors. And finally, hopefully, in October, we'll be able to have a live audience watching live performers in a much needed, much dreamt of situation where we get to see live action again, live theater again. So I hope you can join us. We really, really are looking forward to this opportunity. So please join us for season 13, and please join us for Macbeth as we do theater in the rough. I hope to see you there.
Hello, hopefully you all can hear me. My name is Mark Stringham. I'm a director of what may be the longest tenured production of our town in San Antonio history. On February 23rd, we began rehearsing Our Town under the theme, The Ties That Bind. We gathered in a small black box theater with just chairs and tables and began to discover the simply delicate and detached world of Grover's Corners, New Hampshire. On March 15th, the Ides of March, we paused our tech rehearsal and we've been in that holding pattern ever since. I personally have felt the loss of community, camaraderie, and communion that a theater family brings, whether in rehearsal like Our Town or in the live audiences and lobbies of our local theaters. In times like these, I like to reiterate a quote from Ernest Hemingway. He says, "Now is no time to think of what you do not have. Think of what you can do with what there is." So, what do we have? We've been given a chance to bring this show back to San Antonio. We have an awesome cast, all filled with talent from your town, our town, San Antonio. We have one of the greatest plays in American history, and we have a supportive and willing audience. In the book, The Empty Space, Peter Brooks said, "I can take an empty space and call it a bare stage. A man walks across this empty space while someone else is watching him, and this is all that is needed for an active theater to be engaged." Our town is ideal for a world that needs to be flexible. The play is minimal in nature. With just chairs and tables, we're going to have an easy time adapting to any space available in our season of theater in the rough. The words stand on their own, and the themes are timeless and universal. I'm excited to bring this show into a season that discusses the theme of choice. The character Emily asks the question, do any human beings ever realize life while they live it every minute? I believe we notice what we choose to notice. Our Town is a play that shares the idea that we live life without really noticing and appreciating what it has to offer. We spent years complaining about the lack of time we had to enjoy meaningful moments with those we love. And in this COVID nature, now we have it. Perhaps it is this play that will encourage us to take advantage of the time we are given, to truly notice the small, simple pleasures in our world that make life the beautiful experience that it is. Whether we appreciate this beauty while we have it will be one of the most important choices that we make. We hope to see you soon.
Hi, I am excited to talk to you about Antigone. Antigone has been one of my favorite plays as long as I can remember. I discovered it as a young woman who was fierce and passionate, and have continued to go back to it over the years, and it unfolds in such richness and relevance for me, and how complicated it is on so many sides with Creon and with Antigone and the people in the show. Our theme, we are the choices we make. In this play, that is present every single moment. It is all about what choice am I making now? And how does that reverberate on who I am, on who my community is, how we work together? Do we choose love? Do we choose hate? Some of the other themes that engage me and get me excited to get up and dig into this play with actors are personal versus public, thoughts, feelings, choices, gender issues. How and when do we bend so as not to break? What happens if we don't bend or can't bend? Civil disobedience, youth versus age. So many questions that we are still dealing with today and seem like they're on the front of the newspaper and on the news every single night. So being able to do this and do this play in the rough, the way the Greeks did it originally, is an exciting and unexpected twist for this year. And I am thrilled to be able to tackle it and hope and plan to be able to present it with these other two amazing shows about choices, and we are the choices we make. That being said, I'm also going to switch now to the Where's Waldo part of the evening. If any of you remember the book Where's Waldo, we're going to now do Where's Classic for the coming 2020-21 season. So if any of you can guess those places, let me know. In the meantime, we have a few more of our classic family of actors who are going to share with you are 2 locations that we will be performing at this year. We have 2 amazing community partners, and we will be doing all 3 plays at both of these locations. So we are honored and excited to share with you one video at a time for these 2 locations. Here's our first one.
Hi, I'm Christy Eames, and I'm proud to serve as a board member and an actor for the Classic Theater of San Antonio. And I'm really excited to reveal to you that season 13, Theater in the Rough, will be playing at 2 spectacular community partnership locations here in San Antonio. And one of them is our very own San Antonio Botanical Garden. Let's head over to the Amphitheater where we'll be performing this season.
Welcome to the San Antonio Botanical Gardens Amphitheater. I'm Brian Eames. This is my wife, Christy, and we're playing Dr. and Mrs. Gibbs in Classic Theater's production of Our Town. We look forward to seeing you in February.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Dellinger.
And I'm John Stillwagon, and welcome to Classic Theater's Season 13, Theater in the Rough.
We are so excited to be here at the SB.
Our next production will be William Shakespeare's Macbeth, and Carolyn and I are very excited to be playing Macbeth
And Lady Macbeth. Let's take a peek inside.
Something wicked this way comes. Follow me. This is the beautiful SB stage. There's plenty of fresh air, there's plenty of shade, there's plenty of social distancing, so it'll be fun and safe. It's the perfect place for both hilarious comedy and bloodthirsty tragedy. We cannot wait to perform at the SB.
See you at the SB.
Welcome back. So exciting to just watch our actors walk through those spaces. I went to the Botanical Garden a couple months ago in working with Katie Erickson there to discuss this possibility, and I literally cried. It was such a joy to be in nature. So I'm eager and excited for us all, hopefully, to gather in community there and share story. A few closing remarks. I want to thank Katrina Flores, who is the chef at the San Antonio Botanical Garden, who created our Wicked Behaviors signature cocktail for our production of Macbeth. She was amazing, and so thank you, Katrina, and thank you, Katie Erickson, as well at the Botanical Garden. We're excited to partner with you, and Lisa Henderson at SB. I also do want to thank everyone who has helped us tonight with our tutorial videos and our visiting and revealing the spaces, and my husband Bart and our operations manager Ruben, who are technical geniuses, because if you know me, you know that this is not my forte. Also, I want to leave each of you with a final note of gratitude. Each and every single one of you in this Zoom room is the reason we are able to do the work that we do. Whether as a sponsor, a patron, an artist, a director, a staff member, you are the lifeblood that keeps the heart of the classic beating. We cannot do this work without you. Thank you for being with us tonight. And as you look for our outdoor productions, also continue to be on the lookout for more of our virtual community conversations in the upcoming weeks and months. We will be continuing our Amplifying Black Female Voices conversation here in a couple weeks, and then in September and January as well. At this time, I'm going to ask everyone to begin starting their videos to share so we can see all of our faces and be together, and share a toast to season 13. So get the dregs of your drink. Oh my gosh, this makes me so happy. Look at all these beautiful faces. So whatever your drink of choice is, get your drink, share your video. Ruben's making sure that everyone can be allowed, whether you were initially a panelist or not. And you can unmute yourselves if you want. So we can all toast together. I will start the toast, and then hopefully everyone will stay if they would like to mingle more for some mixing and mingling of our cocktail hour. And you can ask questions if you need them. Oh, I hear voices, I hear Terry. So now, many of you are on. Okay, I propose a toast to being adaptable. I'm sure I'm yelling. I yell apparently when I'm on. Adaptable, flexible, and creative for the adventure of season 13. Yamas.
Yamas.